And, and people of different backgrounds have claims of knowing God, understanding God, believing God, serving God, worshiping God, and also trying to acknowledge His presence. God is a deity. To understand God, you must understand the deity. You must understand what is a deity. Who is a deity? How do I get into the position of understanding God? How do I get into the position of encountering the presence of a deity? How do I attract a deity towards my life? How do I have the opportunity to share those privileges that we read in the Bible, or some read in the Quran, or some read in the Buddhist scripts, or whichever denomination you are? And so the subject of God is diverse. It's very deep. And it needs a lot of wisdom. It needs a lot of research. It should never be based on ideologies. It should never be based on arguments which are debated by philosophers. It should never be debated upon religious inspirations. Neither should it be debated on the facts or factors that pertains man's understanding of who God is. It's very essential that we understand when we talk about the deity, we are talking about persons. Why do I call it persons? Because they're creative beings who are not identical in their metamorphosis existence like we are as human beings. Human being has three parts or three dimensions: the soul, the body, and the spirit. We may never know the total information on how the deities exist in their nature. We have some information from the Bible, and each one of us often a claim of who God is according to what we read in the Bible, which is not bad. It is essential that we align ourselves with our faith, which is okay. But when it comes to understanding the deity, we go beyond just knowing Him theoretically. We go beyond the books that are written by scholars. We go beyond the papyrus reeds. We go beyond discoveries that men believe are of God or not of God. We go beyond the shroud. We go beyond storytelling that is descended from ascended from one generation to another generation. The aspect about God is very wanting. It's very essential. We have 8 billion people currently living in the entire world, and about 7 billion of these people have faith. They believe in something. It tells you that there is a desire for mankind to know God, to associate with God, to seek God. There is too much anxiety that people are placing to know God more than any other thing. That's why people become religious. As human beings, naturally, we are attached to faith. We are attached to things that we believe exist. It is in us. If someone is not attracted to a deity, there is something they'll be attracted to. They will be believing in something. Faith is something that exists beyond the parameter of religion. Faith is not only something that you adopt when you are a Christian or a Muslim or a Buddhist or a Hare Krishna or an Indian. No, faith is something that is within us. We achieve things by faith. We achieve goals by faith. We become leaders by faith. We become successful by faith. We activate decisions and we acclaim success in every angle of life by faith. According to the scriptures, faith comes by hearing, and hearing of the word of God. It comes by hearing. And what hearing does, it produces understanding. Then your brain is able to process ideas out of those information. And through those ideas that you capture from the information you've heard, people act upon it. Then they create a pattern that we now call religion. And so somebody may have heard a story about Prophet Muhammad in the Middle East. And after hearing this story about Prophet Muhammad and the generational information that has been handed over that is written in Quran, somebody choose to become a Muslim according to the pattern that they desire and the pattern that they are attracted to. But before I talk about God deeper, I want to talk about what really is religion, so that you may differentiate and understand that religion in itself is not God. Every religious aspect is something that is inventory by human beings. Every religious ideology is put in place by human beings, a claiming of something. Somebody may have written information acclaiming God appeared to him. We may not have physical evidence like we have cameras now. You can watch me through this camera. We may not have physical evidence that somebody might have written this, but now, from the information that we gather, those who pile up this information using authoritarian law induce this information to the society. And once it becomes a practical event or a practical matter, it then is adopted as religion, and then it becomes part and parcel of life. So somebody says, I'm a Roman Catholic. Remember, he used the word Rome. And so we adopt religion according to the cultures of mankind that has been handed over from one generation to another generation. Our writers, our scribes, our scholars do us a lot of work, because they go deeper to write these things so that the information can also be handed beyond their generation. And so religion in its own is a clear manifestation of human activity or human revelations or human creation in its own. And that's why even though we have billions of people who believe in Jesus, we don't believe in the same religion. The Catholics may not believe entity what the Protestants are talking about. The Protestants may not believe in what the atheists are talking about. The atheists may never agree that God exists. The Pentecostals on the other side believe they're the best. They're the right ones. They're the ones that really have God. And so every human being has an acclaim attached to some information that